Hello, this is the first in a series of short videos about critical thinking activities and how we can introduce them into the language classroom, hopefully in a way that will interest and also amuse the students. Today we'll be having a look at scam emails. Now, probably like me, you get a lot of scam emails coming into your inbox, and I always get a little bit irritated by them. Not quite as irritated as this, sometimes amused, and I read them and then I quickly delete them. But then I started to think, well, wait a minute, maybe there's a way of using these emails productively. Because when I make that decision that this is not genuine, it's a scam, then actually I've been using critical thinking skills. This is critical thinking in action. So maybe there's a way that we can use this in the classroom. So critical thinking, of course, is all about being skeptical, and which leads to asking questions, and not just factual questions or lower order questions beginning with what and when, but also higher order questions, maybe difficult questions, awkward questions, inconvenient questions, and so on. Questions that often begin with why or how, for example. So let's have a look at this email again before we delete it. And what was it about it that made me suspicious? What questions what was I asking? And I put here in red the things that kind of alerted me to the fact it was probably a scam. So first of all, well, it's supposed to come from PayPal, but they don't use my name and there's no reference to my account. There's also some strange language here, alert activity. And then there's actually a mistake, a language mistake, a grammatical mistake. We need to confirmation. So you start to think, well, wait a minute, would PayPal really send out emails around the world that are grammatically incorrect? And then, of course, you could say that the definite article should be added here as well, the problem, the resolution center. What do they want me to do? They want me to click on these links. So I decided not to. Okay. Now, how can we exploit this with our students? And I've designed here a very simple worksheet that can be used across a range of emails. You might want to design something a bit more sophisticated or that's aimed at a particular email. But they always want you to do something. So what does the center want you to do? In that case, it was to click on a link. Maybe they want you to reply or send some details or even money. Why are you suspicious? Well, I've mentioned those reasons, the grammatical mistakes, the lack of a greeting, and so on. And this is how the students might fill in the worksheet. So they want me to click on a link, unusual language and grammatical errors, very basic design, no company logo. I think that's worth looking out for. Let's look at a real PayPal email that I've received. And here they use my name, and there's the company logo there as well. And if we scroll down the email, it looks a lot more professional. The design and so on is a lot more professional. And if you read it carefully, there are no language mistakes or typos. Right, okay, so here's another one. Let's have a look at this. This is also pretending to be from a company, Artemis Fund Investment Limited. And I checked this out, it does exist, and that's their address. But why did I get suspicious about this one? Well, first of all, he uses a personal email. And again, there's a generic greeting, hello. And of course, as you start to read through the message, it sounds too good to be true. And I think, sadly, we know that if something looks too good to be true, then it usually is too good to be true. And we can also look at the language here. During the eastern city of Benghazi insurgency, it sounds a bit odd. And then if we've got sharp eyes, we can notice a punctuation mistake in the number here, 14,300,000. There should be a comma after the 300. And you wouldn't expect a mistake like that from a fund manager. And again, some more strange language, fair enough. A capital letter for 5 sounds a bit odd. And what do they want me to do? They wanted me to reply, okay, to that email above. So I decided not to. And again, I like to think I made that decision by using critical thinking, being skeptical. So there we could fill in the worksheet like this. Again, unusual language, no name. They offer too good to be true. And I think we come across a lot of too good to be true offers in these emails. Now here's another one, also pretending to be from a well-known company, Amazon Prime. This time, let's have a look at the sender's address. It doesn't look like an Amazon Prime email address. And then if we look at the body of the message, again, a generic greeting. There's a grammatical mistake at the end of the first paragraph. To update the default card or choose a new one for your membership. That's not a complete sentence, it's a fragment, so that's very suspicious. And then at the ending there's a kind of warning, even a threat, your benefits will be suspended. So that's something that we have to bear in mind as well. And they want me to click on a link there. Here's one more, this one from Apple. Again, the sender's address looks very unusual, very strange for Apple. Here's the body, again, hi, no personal greeting. A grammatical mistake, you have to completing verification before 12 hours. And then quite a dire warning, your account will be permanently disabled. And they want you to click on the link there to verify the account. Right, okay, here's another one. It is in the title, the subject is, it is important that we hear from you, with 2 exclamation marks. But what draws my attention to this one is that it's claiming to be seeking an order, but they don't say what the product is. And they don't even say what country I'm in. So again, very, very suspicious. And the language is a little bit strange there as well. One more, I've included this one because it takes a different angle. This is appealing to the reader's charitable instincts. It's another too good to be true offer. He claims to be the financial assistant of the late Jeffrey Epstein, and he's got over $10 million to distribute for charity, and he wants my help in distributing it. Well, it's very noble, but of course it sounds very, very suspicious. He wants the telephone number, my telephone number, occupation, address, and so on, personal details there. But I'll draw your attention to the first paragraph here, because I think that's a little bit cheeky. I'm glad to be in contact with you, even though this medium of communication has been grossly abused by criminal-minded people, making it difficult for people with genuine intention to correspond and exchange views without skepticism. Well, as I said, skepticism is really critical thinking, so we should very much apply that. So that's a little bit cheeky. So you can have a lot of fun and a lot of but a lot of interesting work with these scam emails. As I said, there's a worksheet like that we could use. After they've seen a number of scam emails, we might want to think about making up a list of things to watch out for. So that perhaps this is something students can do in groups. They can make a list of all the signs that we should look out for so we won't be fooled by a scam email. Helpfully, PayPal give us a list to refer to. Here's some helpful tips on how to spot scam emails. So, as we've mentioned, the sender's address might look suspicious. The use of generic greetings rather than personal ones, typos and poor grammar, and a false sense of urgency. Unless you reply, then something awful will happen. So that's something else to look out for. Here are some more things. We've got to be careful about fake links, check where a link is going. PayPal will never include attachments, so we should be very wary of attachments. We shouldn't reveal a tracking number to anybody. And we should be very, very careful about clicking on links, of course. A final worksheet here. Maybe at the end of a series of activities and looking at a lot of scam emails, we might start to think with the class about, why these are sent. What different types of scam email are there? Well, we've looked at a few different ones. But why do people send them? What are the main reasons? And what can be done to stop them? You might think of other questions that we could put in there to help a discussion on this topic. So if you would like to have more ideas about critical thinking activities and how to use them in the language classroom, perhaps you'd like to have a look at these two books I've written, Framework First, Academic Writing and Critical Thinking, and the higher level is Framework, and they come with teacher's guides and so on. And if you'd like to have more information on the books, please have a look at the website. And if you have any queries, please, there is my email addresses. So I hope this has been useful for you. We have the added satisfaction of turning something around when we use scam emails, turning something around which has been very irritating, but actually we're going to make it useful and it's something that we can introduce into our classes. So that makes us more satisfied, I think. Thank you for your attention. I hope the video has been useful.